So what is an off-market property, a private listing, an active listing? What is the difference? And how do I as a buyer get access to all the homes that are for sale out there, regardless of those statuses? Let's jump into that, but before we do, just a reminder, I'm Mike Thornton. I have a team here in the western suburbs of Chicago. We are realtors specializing in this area, so if you want more information about the western suburbs, shoot us a note. We'd love to be a resource for you. So let's jump right in. This is a common question I get for people that are just starting to look. They say, hey, we saw a sign in the yard, but we don't see it online. Or, hey, do you have access to off-market properties? Or, what is this private listing network? Can you explain this to me? So I want to break that down in today's video. So let's start first with maybe the most obvious, and it's an active listing. An active listing has been activated in the local MLS, therefore feeding all the different consumer sites. So this is a listing that has the broadest distribution. It's probably on any website you could physically find that has real estate associated with it. My thoughts are that you have no issue finding active properties, but that is what an active property is. Now, a private listing is not exactly an off-market or a pocket listing. This is also a status, at least here in our MLS in Chicagoland, our MRED MLS. The private market is a status within the MLS. That is a status that we as realtors can leverage with limited inputs, limited information, and really use it as a soft opening to the market. Now, every realtor uses it a little bit different. You don't have to use it, but what it really does is it allows some visibility to realtors, and realtors can share these listings. There's some really great sites that you have to pay for to get access to these. Zenlist is one of them. We have a way for you to connect in Zenlist with us so we can share these private listings with you. But that's just one example of a service that you can use to see private listings. Private listings, the way we use them is, again, a soft opening to the market. We would put a listing in the private network about 7 to 10 days before we go live on the market if we have control over that time frame, which we don't always do. But ideally, we get some exterior photos up, maybe some interiors already, but that's where that listing goes when we're still prepping it for sale. So we might be doing the staging during that time, we might be doing the cleaning, but we want to get the word out a little bit because we know that if we can build anticipation during that coming soon period, we can maximize profits for our seller. So let's just say we plan on going live next week. Today, boom, we put it up in the private network, limited information, price, beds, baths, a few photos of the exterior. That allows me to start fielding a higher volume of calls. That allows me to start reaching out to agents and saying, hey, who do you got in this area? Did you see it? Just popped up on the private. And then we're able to kind of set up some showings ahead of time so that once we do go live on the market, we have the best bang for our buck and we have the most traffic possible because we've been building that anticipation and we've lined up those showings. So once we go live on the market, or even before we go live on the market, we have a full day of showings set up just based on the work we did on the private network. So that's the private network. Now, an off-market or pocket listing is different. That is a listing that's probably not showing up anywhere. It may be just a realtor word of mouth. Maybe the realtor is just using their network. Maybe the seller wants to be completely anonymous. They don't want anybody to know that they're selling their property. They don't want the sign. They don't want to show up anywhere. This happens, and this happens often, where they might contract a realtor to work on their behalf, but that realtor is only working their back channels, only working their sphere, only working the connection that they have to get that property sold. That is much less common, but it's out there. And if you could find yourself an off-market deal, obviously that's valuable because you don't have the entire market competing with you as the buyer. It's also possible to, get an off-market property for some direct-to-seller marketing. This is common with real estate investors. It's common that they may do a ton of mail pieces to try to basically go right to the seller, direct to consumer, to try to find a property for sale or somebody willing to sell for the right price. And so that conversation and that interaction would also be obviously considered an off-market property. So off-market, very exclusive, probably just back channels, relationships, connections. Private network, we can get you access to it. It's not on Zillow, it's not on Trulia. You need to connect with a local realtor in your area to try to get access to those. Or like our clients, we get them set up on Zenlist so that they can receive those properties. That is where a property is likely going for a short time before it goes live in the market. And then active listing, that's self-explanatory. If you need any information about agents that you can connect with in your market, or you want to talk shop, or maybe if you're looking to move to the western suburbs, let us be a resource for you. We're happy to connect you with the right people. Hope you have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.